Back by Roos Field. It's time for some football action on a Friday night. Of course, this is the Hub City Ford pregame show. I'm Blaine Viatar. I'm joined alongside my partner in crime, my Robin, Coach Christopher Kovacs. As we have a huge game upon us tonight as your Carencro Golden Bears are set to take on the Zachary Broncos. It's a clash of two Titans in two different aspects, though, Coach. This is a game that is Zachary has been one of the top programs in the last 10 years, while your Carencro Golden Bears are trying to find themselves again. Of course, Carencro 1-1 on the season, and they're fresh off of a well of a ball game against LCA a week ago, where the Carencro Golden Bears lost on a 4th and goal from the 20-yard line with 25 seconds to play. LCA was to punch it in the end zone to take the lead. It was breathtaking, Coach. It was heartbreaking. How can a team get over the hump and fight back after such a ball game?
I think that's when you find a little bit about your own character. And I think that's something that the coaching staff kind of reiterated, is that they knew they had their chances against LCA and didn't make the right plays at the right time to make everything happen. And so it becomes a humbling moment or a defeating moment. And I think the coaching staff really hopes that it becomes a humbling moment as you come into a game like this tonight.
And look, this is a team that is propelled at the highest level after the week 1 win against STM, lose heartbreak fashion against week 2, but you can't blink. You have a team coming in Zachary Broncos that have been in this position before. They have been on the high mountain of not only 5A football, but the entire state. When you look at the way they've played over the last decade, they're 2-0 in the season. They beat a good Plaquemine team that Carencro played over in the spring game, and then they beat Acadiana last week. And look, Acadiana is 0-2. I'm not trying to hear that. That is a good football team over in Dusson, and they still have talent along both sides of the line of scrimmage. For them to be 2-0 at this aspect of the game, it has my attention.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, this Plaquemine team that we referenced earlier was much heralded coming into the springtime. I mean, it was a team that had a deep run last year, came back with plenty of talent, and, I mean, we don't even have to speak about the success that Acadiana has had. I'll drop a stat out there. In 9 of the last 11 years, this Zachary program has had some of the top high school quarterbacks in the state. We're going to talk about Lindsey Scott, who signed with LSU.
4-year starter at Zachary.
Yep, finished a long career with Incarnate Word. Keelan Brown signed with Memphis. He's now with Georgia State. Eli Holstein, that name might sound familiar because his brother played at St. Thomas More.
But currently, Eli Holstein's the starting quarterback at Pitt.
Yeah.
Pitt's 2-0 so far in the college football season.
Pitt's 2-0, signed with Alabama, signed with Nick Saban. If Nick Saban signs you, that says something from the absolute drop. Those 3 guys alone led Zachary to 4 state titles. And, I mean, and so you're not just talking about talent, too, because – like, Scott is now a college quarterback coach at Texas Tech. Brown's still at Georgia State. And Holstein, as you mentioned, is doing his thing over there in Georgia. I mean, that says something about your program.
Coach, there's 2 things I'm excited about. First thing, a little bit of a less humid night, right? Woke up this morning,
feels a little bit better.
Little humidity out the air. Second thing, they have a much bigger angle at us tonight over here in the sky. I've gotten a lot of complaints. I heard a lot of things that, hey, man, you and Coach belly level. I don't know if that's good for you guys.
Yeah.
So tonight we got the sky up here, camera, so we can see you guys and y'all can see us. I don't know if it's good for the hairline. Definitely good for the belly. We're going to take our first break of the night. When we come back, we have plenty to get to in the Hub City Ford Carencro pregame show, where I'll tell you all about this Zachary High team, what they look like so far tonight, and what can you expect from the Carencro Bears right here on your home for Carencro High football, Mustang 107.1. And we're back at it right here from the Open Air Crow Dome, live from McByru Stadium. I'm Blaine Viator. I'm joined alongside the original Coach K, Coach Christopher Kovacs, and we're here for a big ball game tonight. Your Carencro Golden Bears are set to take on the Zachary Broncos, and it's a ball game that at Carencro a year ago, Coach, went on the road at Zachary, and that was not a good Carencro team. I'll be first to admit.
I think everybody who's been associated with the program will be quick to admit that was a lesser team than Carencro standards would like to have.
But now Carencro has kind of flipped the script, right? The DNA has changed. The mindset has changed. They're much more prepared to face a team like a Zachary because Brewerton and company are main staples, not only in the 5A bracket when it comes to Carencro High Louisiana football, but also in the entire state. Look, Coach Brewerton has been a big-time coach everywhere he's ever been. No difference here. They've been competing ever since he stepped foot on the campus.
Yeah, absolutely. David Brewerton, he's a guy who've got a lot in common. Coach Brew went to Catholic High, Baton Rouge, which not many people know. It's a brother school with Brother Martin. A lot of very similar characteristics the two schools have. So he and I graduated the same year, different schools, an hour away, but we share a lot. I've known Coach Brew for a little bit. We're not the best of friends, but there's the utmost respect for what he has done. I mean, we're talking about a guy who took Livonia. How many people can pick out where Livonia? You and I know where Livonia is on a map, but how many people can pick out where Livonia is on a map?
You only know about Livonia because you can't speed through Port Barry, so you speed through Livonia.
You are absolutely correct. But this man took Livonia to a state title a number of years back and then moved on to Zachary and has had nothing but success from the time that he has gotten there, and well respected in the coaching community, well respected throughout the LHSAA, and his teams have been nothing short of a dominant, just perennial force in 5A high school football in Louisiana.
If you're just joining us right now on the Carencro Bears Network or on Mustang 1071, of course, this is Carencro football, and this is the Hub City Ford Carencro pregame show. Your Golden Bears are set to take on the Zachary Broncos tonight. Carencro just took the field, and they look a little different tonight. It's the first time this year we see them with the gray tops, the blue lids like you always see in the gold bottoms, Coach. I'm a traditionalist, and I'll be first to admit this is not my favorite look for the Golden Bears.
Yeah, it's not my favorite look, but it's also a byproduct of the modern age of sports, you know. I mean, you know, we have to kind of keep it real, and you got to respect Gavin Peters for what he's attempted to do. They have so many uniform combinations, as does Zachary. Well, Zachary's not that much different.
If we're going to be fair, though, I'm pretty respectful and excited how big the numbers are, so we won't have any situations tonight where we have an opportunity not to see the numbers. On the flip side, the Zachary Broncos just took the field. They're white. Some of my favorite looks, man. Crispy, all white unis looking good tonight on the field. So far this year, though, like we mentioned earlier, the Zachary Broncos 2-0 on the season. Week 1, big win against Plaquemine. And, of course, Week 2, 30-14. They've beat Acadiana, the crosstown rival, right over from Deuce-on, 30-14, in a game that they shut the Rams out in the second half.
Yeah, and that was a game where Acadiana had to really make an absolute statement for themselves as a team, but not only as a team, for their program. You know, after essentially being embarrassed by Ruston in the week before in just an absolute blowout, they had to come back with a positive statement. And the way that the game opened, it looked like they were in position, you know, to move into that spot and maybe come away with a big road win. But, man, Zachary pitches a second-half shutout and just avenges their loss from a season ago with a 30-14 win because Acadiana did have the upper hand a year ago, but that was a very good Acadiana team that beat them. So you're looking at a couple things, and one of the big things, the Wrecking Rams trailed Zachary 21-14 entering the fourth quarter. Then there was a botched punt snap turned into a safety. Minutes later, a fumble returned for a touchdown. That sealed the deal. And then ultimately that brought out that 30-14 loss, drops Acadiana to 0-2, but on the flip side, brings Zachary to 2-0, which sets up a monumental showdown. It's amazing, partner, the difference between 0-3, 1-2, 2-1, and 3-0. It's crazy.
Well, look, Carencro is a one play away from probably being, in Gavin Peters' words, one of the hottest teams in the entire state of Louisiana, and it just didn't go their way, right? 4th and goal from the 20-yard line, 25 seconds left to play. They floated a football in that just found the end zone, couldn't get there. Tonight, the Golden Bears try to write that script and come out on the other side against one of the perennial powers in 5A. We're going to step aside when we come back. It'll be time for first quarter action right here on your home for Carencro High football, the Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1. Welcome back to the Carencro Bears Network, live from the open-air Crow Dome, where your Golden Bears are set to take on the Zachary Broncos as we exit the Hub City Ford first quarter and get into the Chief Anderson first quarter. Coach, the Golden Bears have won the toss. They deferred. They'll get the second half kick, and they'll play defense first.
And that might be the ultimate way to come back from last week. A really, I don't want to say a stellar performance from the Carencro defense, because obviously there are a lot of things that didn't go the way that the Carencro coaching staff would have liked to have seen it, nor the Carencro players. But when you go back, what does everybody like to do? Everybody likes to go back to the game-changing play, and I think there were two of them against LCA. You had the first play that LCA had on offense. Braylon Walker, phenomenal athlete. He goes down, full arm, full forearm, ball on the ground. The ball was dead at the 41-yard line, never got called. He scoots the rest of the way. Now, he may have scored on the second play. We don't know. Last play of the game offensively for LCA, 4th and goal from the 20, and ball gets thrown. You've got Derek Lotz, who's a first-year football guy. He's a basketball guy. He's the point guard on the basketball team. He's not a natural corner. He made the mistake of going for the ball rather than running through his man and running through the guy's hip, and you had a safety that essentially kind of froze a little bit, didn't come over the top. If those two guys just did what they were coached to do, it might be a totally different outcome. So it didn't end the way that this Carencro team wanted to. No discredit to those guys, all learning mistakes essentially, but you get the chance to start off on defense tonight. Let's go.
And they'll do that and put the ball in the air. It's going to be received off the reflection or at the 8-yard line, trying to turn the football up the field, and he'll be quickly met by a host of Carencro Bears led by Kendrick Bernard. There is a flag on the play that dropped back at the 17-yard line. We'll have to see what the call is, Coach. It looked like there was a different kicker in the ball game as well.
Yeah, kind of actually missed who kicked it off. See if we can get that number as it comes off right there. Looks like that's number 48 for Carencro, who
I'd imagine that's Holden Luck. I don't see him as 48 on my roster. I see him as number 39, but he's the only kicker listed. It's going to be holding on the Broncos, and they're going to bring this football back to the 8-yard line of the Broncos. That's why they're going to start this drive, and Coach Kobe Pettis and company will welcome that with open arms.
Yeah, put the ball in the hands of the cornerback, number 3, Zachary Hogan, the 5'9", 165-pound returning starter. He kind of bounced the ball a little bit as it hit his pads. Can't ask for a better start for Carencro.
Going to send the back in motion, gets the snap. He's going to whip it straight out into the flats. He's going to quickly bring it up the field. He'll be tackled across the 15-yard line down at the 16, and that'll be enough for a first down yardage for the Broncos. They like to get the football out quickly. They like to get it out in the hands of playmakers, and they like to move with lightning speed.
And it was a really good job by Rontrell Woods right there on the coverage. Did a great job despite the first down. I thought it was a very well-played ball right there. Zachary is going to move quickly as they'll all look to the sideline to get the play from one of the 313 Zachary coaches on the sideline.
They're going to run underneath right now. Big hole for the Broncos as they're going to bring the football across the 20. He'll be tackled down at the 24-yard line, but it's a gain of 7 on the play, and it's going to bring out the second down and 3.
One interesting thing for our listeners, Zachary is an independent school district. There are only a couple in the state, and they're really not that far from one another. Central, which has had amazing athletic success in the last couple of years, and Zachary over the last decade has had that sort of success. They're both independent school districts. They can do a lot at their schools that most schools really can't. But it looks like we're going to have a little time out here, huh?
Yeah, it looks like they're going to stop and talk about something. I don't know who could be this early in the ball game. Of course, there's 10:39 left to play in the first quarter. Zachary has the football, 2nd and 3 from their own 24-yard line. They like to spread you out, Coach. It'd be interesting when they run underneath the amount of real estate they'll have. Quickly throwing the football out of the backfield. He'll find the running back who's going to catch it and bring it back towards the 35. He'll finally be tackled down at the 38-yard line. That'll be another first down for the Broncos.
Yeah, it is a true spread offense in every bit of the definition right there. They're going to spread you out from sideline to sideline. They're going to move the ball from sideline to sideline. There are going to be about 8 guys that touch the ball tonight. They're going to keep you on your tippy toes if you are a defensive player or a defensive coach.
Quarterback Michael Kirby leads the way. He's going to hand it off this time straight up the gut. There's a lot of running room. He's going to split the sticks in half. It's going to gain a 5. They're going to have him down at the 44 of the Broncos, and it'll bring up 2nd and 4. They like to play with a little pace, Coach. They like to mix it up. They don't shy away from running in between the tackles, but they like to throw it too quickly into the flats.
Yeah, if they're guys that are going to impress you, it's the guys who are going to be in the end, the receivers. Those guys are all 6'3", 6'4". I mean, they are impressive. I mean, in every way, shape, and form. We're looking at them right here as they're towards our short side of the field. And, I mean, if our basketball team had guys that look like that, we'd be an entirely different group. I mean, these guys look like college basketball players. They're reminiscent of maybe a Randy Moss out there as we're looking at them. I mean, these are some dudes.
Carencro's going to give them 5 free yards now, and they're going to have 1st and 10 from the 49 of the Broncos as they're just shy of Carencro territory. Brooks is looking down the field. He's going to let it fly for the first time tonight, looking for the deep ball. It's going to fall incomplete as he overshot his receiver across the 20-yard line. Good coverage that time for the Golden Bears, bracketed on both sides by the cornerback and safety.
So it'll be interesting to see how the passing game develops. You saw Zachary go to the quick look early on, the kind of screen game early on. But with these big receivers and knowing how small that the Carencro defensive backfield is, it does present some interesting matchups. But one thing that's different tonight is we see Chance Babineau starting at one of the corner positions tonight.
Under the shotgun now, he's going to hand the football straight up the gut. He's going to get across into Carencro territory, but not much more, as they'll drop him at the 48-yard line of the Golden Bears. It'll be a gain of about 4 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 6.
I mean, the ideal situation that Carencro wants, you know, the running back right there. Peyton, he's not necessarily a guy that wows you with his size or his speed, but he tends to get you with his elusiveness, his quickness, and just the –
You got to respect him, though, right? Especially when you spread so far out, boundary to boundary.
Right, and that's what I was going to say. Like, when you're spread out so much and you're trying to defend so many things and the little quick guy gets it right up the middle, it's hard to stop.
Kirby looking to throw the football now down the field. He's going to pump. Now he's stepping up in the pocket. He's going to look to turn in a runner. Well, down into Carencro territory. He's going to go across the 40, down to the 39. That's going to be enough yardage for a first down for the Broncos.
Zachary moving the ball rather well in this first drive, but I don't think this Carencro team is any stranger to a team that comes out and moves the ball well throughout the first series. I mean, I think you watch college ball, you watch pro ball, you see a lot of teams have really successful drives, but we've seen this Carencro coaching staff do a really good job of adjustments in the first 2 games of the season.
Kirby now looking at the sideline. He's going to set the troops up from the 40-yard line of the Bears. Looking to throw the football deep. Steps up in the pocket. He lost it. It's going to be falling incomplete, but it looks like a Crowbear fell in top of the football, and it will call it a Carencro football turnover. Make that a best stop turnover. Carencro football. I'm trying to see the number who came up with the pigskin. Either way, Carencro's going to find themselves with a lucky spot.
Yeah, not 100% sure who came up with the ball right there. Might have been the young fella, the junior, Kelvin Hilaire, that came up with it. But I got to be honest, that was an ugly play from the very beginning. The wide receivers on the right side of the field, that's to the home side of Carencro High, took off 2 yards, then they just stopped. They just died, essentially. They didn't move again. Quarterback dropped back, and then the ball just did a whoop as it came out. And Hilaire, obviously the guy that was at the right place at the right time.
Carencro will take it, though, after the best stop turnover. It's a Papa Bear first down. Guernsey will go into center, fake the handoff, now rolling out to his right. He's going to throw it deep now, has a man, it's Babineau. He's going to catch it at the 25. He's off to the races. He's into the end zone. Cue the horns. That's a big boy fencing touchdown. Carencro Bears strike quickly. It's 6-0 with 8 minutes left to play in the first quarter.
You know,